Okay.
So just kind of keep it running.
Got it.
All right, so start over at 2.5 on your end, Lizzie.
Okay.
And then once I go through the history of the space, you will be able to unmute your spirit box.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry, did you have something already?
I mean, it spiked again when we first got over here, but like I said, I can't tell.
So once we're inside, like once we cross like the threshold getting in here, that's usually kind of like my cutoff point.
Okay.
Because like these walls block off some of the EMF from the parking meters, and we're not going to get the transformer stuff like this far in, especially for the readings that we normally get here. That was a 22.
Yeah, when we first got here, it was 133.
Yeah, that's not a transformer.
Yeah, I'm not lying to you. That's why I didn't say it. 5.9.
So I'm going to say your baseline at
12, 14.9
is a 22.
Okay.
So I'm not going to take the 133 as a baseline.
24.8.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Cutting you off.
No, you're supposed to. So let me kind of explain what she's finding here.
So we need to know something.
What's that?
It said we need to, and then I don't know what it said after that.
All right. So she's measuring electricity in the air. You guys all know that ghosts are basically balls of energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Electricity is also balls of energy. It is said that ghosts can manipulate EMF around us. So we're in a space where there is no EMF. So at that point, the reason why we go to 2.5 is because, like I said, it's the first blinky light on the other device. Your TV at home usually runs a 40 to 60 milligauss. That's the unit of measure that we're using here. She's already been up to 133. Your microwave runs at about 150 on the outside of it when you're running it.
Oh, wow.
Now, the highest I've ever seen that device go, and I've been ghost hunting for 14 years, this location, 214 milligauss.
Wow.
We left.
Wow.
I have epilepsy. That is too much electricity in the air for the guy with the neurological disorder.
Yeah.
So we got the
Wow.
hell out of here.
Yeah.
So in the event that you're getting triple digit readings regularly throughout the space, we will probably go.
Okay.
I'm going to gladly accept, like, this is me excited about a 133 because we
Okay.
haven't seen, a reading that high in a few weeks.
Okay.
So kind of keep that in mind.
Okay.
But again, the average for this space, 5 out of 7 nights a week, is 18 to 22 milliamps.
Oh,
So
wow.
I expect
So
that.
that's high.
Yeah, so I actually expect that out of the space. That is an astronomical number for any of the other locations that we're
wow.
going.
Yeah.
In 18 to 22. Now, I have had triple digits at our very last stop that we're going to, but it is a rarity to find things.
Okay.
So kind of keep that like in perspective. All right, so where the hell are we? We're in a parking lot. Congrats.
That's
you
what I
made
was
it.
going to say. What historical,
I'm getting to it.
Okay.
This used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion.
Oh, wow.
So, communication devices. By the way, this is where I start withholding information on purpose so you guys actually have a genuine experience. I will not be giving you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did with the big red barn. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. Now, who the hell were Charles and Eliza Pinckney? They had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Chucks. That's why we look for secondary clues. What do you got? Is it a post? Is it a shadow?
No, there's 3, like a face.
Is it a shadow?
Yeah, there's a 3. Oh, it looks like a
I can't tell.
post right there.
Yeah, she's picking up a post.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, at one point it was like the 3 dots, like on the
Well,
face.
you were recording, so I'll be able to take a look at it.
I
I'll
see
take
it
a note to
again.
make sure. I want to also point out that will pick up shadows. That is an absence of light, which makes it look like it's in front of something else.
Yeah, that
so
makes
just kind of
sense.
keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Now, the 3 different Chucks, that's why we look for those secondary clues so I know who I'm directing, right? So they're 3 different men, they're not all the same person. So the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. It's a big deal for us, but I hate politics.
Yeah.
I bring it up just because if I don't, they're going to give me a very nasty message like, where's my recognition?
28.4.
Nice. That's your new base. Well, actually, we'll just make 25 your base.
Okay.
And by the way, the device I put away, the blinky light one, only goes to 25.
Oh, wow.
Yep, that's why I don't use it. We would have missed all of these readings.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to Eliza. She has a much better history. And then I will give you guys sets of focus questions to work on while we're here. And then I'll kind of do like 1 or 2 round robins, like while we're inside the space and kind of see what's happening. And then I like to make this one nice and brief just out of respect for Eliza. That's who we're going to be speaking about. She marries Charles at a young age according to today's standards.
Yeah.
I say it that way because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, don't expect numbers from the colonial days that she came from, like 12 and 14. So think of today's standards because her husband, Charles, was over double her age when they married. Creepy age gap then and now. Just going to put that in a clue reference for you. Now, she married him because her father was over in England. He thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all of his kids home one last time. Eliza does not believe he's dying, so she stays put. She gets married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year to get a green card because we are not a country yet.
Yeah.
So she did marry him out of love. This is a true love story, by the way. This is nothing horrific at all. But anyway, she was right. Dad did not die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. So Dawn's wearing it right now because that's how we use it. When she got her seeds, though, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's not always hot here. When she learned how to keep it going, she learned how to make the dye from them, and then moved to a cash crop down by the Stono River. Got a hold of her dad overseas, told him rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with the indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial days, something absolutely unheard of. So that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit because that's why you guys are here. So focus questions. Let's see how we're going to start this. So Dawn, you're going to focus on Eliza's death. So she's pretty open about talking about it as long as we're respectful.
Okay.
The only thing I'll ask in this location is if you're going to not ask questions that I throw at you and you're going to go rogue, just make sure they're respectful at this location and they're not yes/no questions.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
If I hear something, do I tell you? Or just keep it until the end?
So I'm going to be bouncing back and forth
Okay.
to kind of see what's going on. This way you're not
Okay.
being influenced by her spirit box because it's
Okay.
going to be open air here in a minute.
Okay.
But the four major questions that we get answers to.
27.0.
You're okay. Yeah, I said 25. So four majors are how old she was when she died, what she died from, where she's buried, which
76.
which president was a pallbearer at her funeral.
Okay.
So the age, where, how, and president. Those are the four majors. 76 out of yours. So your spirit box, Lizzie and Gabby, I want you guys to focus because it only normally gives us like 1 to 2 syllables at a time with that one because it's so sporadic. The mansion's not here anymore unless anybody else can see it and I can't.
58.8.
76, 58, nice. But you're going to ask what happened to the mansion, and if we get the answer, which you don't know what that is, we will often get 2 or 3 numbers of the date of when that actually occurred. Keep in mind, there's a reason why I always use a minimum of 2 communication devices, and we're actually using 3 tonight. The answers can go anywhere. That's why you might get the answer to their question, and vice versa. I might get the answers to anybody's questions. You don't have to ask these things out loud. Some people are uncomfortable with doing that. Again, it's a focused set of questions. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're kind of going through this. I think that about covers everything. I haven't looked at the word list here in a minute. I got a whole lot of nothing. So we're just going to stay away from, obviously, the vehicles and anybody getting in and out of their vehicles, and that is the only entrance and exit for vehicles to go. So kind of keep that in mind as we're kind of bouncing through here. Dawn, with you, like when I'm not with you, obviously just be aware of your surroundings. You might want to just keep one.
I'm not wearing all black.
I know, but people might not be able to see you.
I understand.
So I'm going to be bouncing back and forth like in a quick manner just to see what's going on with your devices. And let's get to work. Let's do
Just
this.
wander around?
You got it. Just stay within like this area because again, I'm going to keep an eye on everybody. Kind of see what's going on. Yeah, it takes a second to warm up once you hit the button. And that's not an easy task either. So.
What was our question again?
What happened to the mansion?
Okay.
When did that happen?
Okay.
What about Gabby? She was focused. Like she was like laser focused on the history of that. So she was like, I bet you she would have remembered.
Are we supposed to ask it out loud or like in our head?
I guess we could do either one.
Oh, okay.
What happened to your mansion, Eliza?
Oh, that scared me.
He hasn't told us yet. I'm pretty curious into what happened. The year it happened? Sounded like a moan.
Yeah, I did hear that.
It sounded like a moan came through, but that's about it.
Okay, I don't write down sounds because I can't verify it. That's why I like this definitive clues. Any other crazy numbers I need to know about?
Not higher than the 76 that we got. We got to like 32, but that's about
It's
it.
like a 32. It's still pretty
Yeah.
damn good reading. I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't get that high last night. You know what I mean? I think our highest rating last night was like a 24.
Oh, wow.
Again, it's different every day.
Yeah.
So, you guys are gonna like make me run out of paper tonight. But yeah, that's when it comes through. Trust me, you'll get the words out of it. And you're probably only gonna hear like 12 or 15 things out of it all night.
Okay.
But it's about that 75 to 80% accurate.
I didn't want to forget. It said SIOM. And then it said basically go away.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't write any of that shit down. TV show stuff.
Wait a second. Well, it didn't say it like that, but
Even still,
Yeah.
unless I ask if they want us to leave and I
Yeah.
get that kind of answer, it's the only time
I didn't
because it's
ask.
direct.
I didn't ask.
So I'm not gonna take it.
But I was like, I'm gonna forget what they're saying.
But it looks like it was trying to spell something for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that just said a 36.
Is that what that was?
That's what I heard. Or pictures.
Something like that. Something picture.
You guys said pictures first. I usually take your first instinct.
Okay.
So whatever your first
I would say
instinct
that.
is,
Yeah.
is what I take. So
Overs.
Now every time I go somewhere here, I'm gonna be like, this place is haunted.
You're like, Gabby and I learned this the other night.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read back or watch back.
Oh my gosh, I know.
They say same self.
any other words?
We heard something, but we couldn't make it out.
And that's going to be the case most of the time.
Yeah.
So with a person that doesn't believe in coincidences, unless you actually heard it or can make out like was
Yeah.
it pictures or fixtures,
The
Uh-huh.
number one again.
I'm not surprised. Just waiting for that verification.
Sorry.
No, you're good. That's a good thing. The number one. Still waiting. I'm hoping that I haven't used this spirit box there in a while. I've had a lot of small groups lately, so I don't always bring it out. But
Yeah.
I figured, once I see my group and I kind of get the gist of who I have, then I can kind of like see how things are going to go. So I haven't used this one in probably a few weeks. So hoping something's going to actually come out of it. Any other crazy numbers in the 30s again?
No, it was actually stood still at 0 for a while.
Okay. See, just don't stand still.
Yeah.
Come on, Eliza. We're going to wrap this up here in a minute.
It said investigating.
Last call, Eliza. Get out of your hair. We're asking about your home tonight and your death. You know which questions I ask. It's not like I'm not here every night. We're here respectfully. If you want us to leave, give us some kind of signal for that. We'll take it. We'll take the hint. You're getting some readings, that's for sure. It was not this active in here last night with the EMF. 27,
31.
28. if that was coming from something man-made, like a pole, it would actually be like 31, 33, 29. Like it would stay within range.
Okay.
So the fact that you're getting like a 31 and then like a 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not... That was a weird sound. I didn't hear what it said.
I didn't either. Fuck.
That's what I thought I said too. Dawn, anything else?
88.5. Just by the way, whenever I ask a question, it's really loud.
Okay. Well, I'm going to call it because we're not getting a whole lot of like specific details. Yeah, go ahead and mute yours up. The EMF is like off the charts. Like,
Do I
it's
stop
all-
mine too?
Yeah, go ahead and give your hands a break.
I've been here before.
Every tour that comes down here. This was actually the space I was looking to take out this year. But stop giving me evidence.
That was a tour. I told you I was a little bored, so I might not pay attention really well. Okay? It was cold, and I was just waiting for it to shut up so I could leave.
What day was that? Was that Wednesday? Yeah. Go store on Wednesday. It's supposed to take this Thursday. Yeah, just because they're going to be coming through here, and I'm going to
turn
cover
this
the
off?
history. No,
Or
I'm
leave
going to
it?
leave that running.
Okay. Yeah, it's running.
All right, so let me check the word list real quick. Remember that your readings are going to be an 8. Prescription, perfect. That makes sense.
Yep. Sorry.
Yep, you know why. And you guys probably know why too. Have you ever been down here?
No.
I have, but I don't know why.
Are you guys like natives or are you like transplants?
No,
I'm
I mean,
a
I'm
native.
originally from Myrtle Beach. I'm not from here,
Okay.
so.
And what about you?
I'm a native.
Okay. You don't know where this place is? Wow.
No.
I'm from Texas, and I know.
Just here. That doesn't count. Every ghost tour comes down.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a staple. That's exactly why I don't like to come down here. But it is actually one of my favorite places, not ghost stories, in Charleston. So if you're ever just walking through the city, it's the most serene place we have. I don't care
Yeah.
who tells you what.
Unless it's at night.
No, especially at night.
Well, I was going to say, unless it's at night.
Well, it depends on what night of the week it is. So, and depending on what time you come down here. So
Yeah.
a lot of times, like, I've shot footage down here for TikTok videos at like 3 in the morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
Yeah, do you do TikTok things?
Oh, yeah.
You ought to text me the stuff. So
Oh, you're going to have it all.
Oh,
Trust me.
you're going to say, okay. Well,
Yeah,
I don't even have to
on your
ask.
data page.
Perfect.
Like I'm good at self-marketing very secretly. You'll see that. But because I'm a writer, like my website is giant. So when you
Really?
got, oh,
The
yeah.
guy that I'm dating right now has, 2 Emmys. He's a writer.
Okay.
And right now, him and his partner
Who the hell
are...
are you dating? That's won 2 Emmys.
I don't have to give you his name.
Well, I'm like racking my brain. Like, who is this?
He was
hunt
in
him down, I
radio
think.
for a long time. And then, what else?
She doesn't want to tell me his name. Look at her.
I just don't want to tell you his name. His name is Carter Francois, or Francois. Something. I can't say his last name.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
heard that name too. I don't
Yeah.
know where, but I've heard that name.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where, but I've heard that name.
Yeah.
Very cool. Good on you.
He's 10 years younger, but I don't care.
Good on you again.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when I'm dating, almost all the guys I'm dating are in their 40s. I don't know why. So, I'm okay with that.
The Pinckney Mansion site was actually a site I was going to take out last year. But, and that was only because I was getting like disrespectful ghost hunters. That's why I emphasized on the respect factor there. Like, come on, Eliza. And then they go take a leak in the corner.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. That's the kind of clientele that I was
horrible.
getting.
Wow.
So I was getting very nasty, disembodied messages through that
Yeah.
space. And
Oh,
that's
no,
just not,
no, yeah,
that's not
no
what
wonder.
I'm looking to portray. So
Yeah,
I
no
get it.
Yeah.
wonder I told you to leave.
Yeah, no, it did.
Well, every night before I meet with y'all, even on a third round with you, Dawn, I cut through that lot that we just left before I meet with you guys on that corner to let Eliza know how many people I'm bringing and what your names are. So I have all your names written down so that way I can read them off and just, it's a respect factor.
Yeah.
So I always kind of like, that's just what I do. But this year's new space, we're not actually going to be able to do it tonight because it's Saturday. I only do it Sunday through Thursdays because it needs to be completely quiet, and that location is not quiet on the weekends.
Yeah.
So I hate to even bring it up and say, oh, by the way, I'm skipping out on you guys. But it is, I use a crazy voice recorder in there, and we will pick up pretty much everything for like a 3-block radius.
Wow.
So if there are weddings going on, parties, bars, like you're going to hear all of it, and it disrupts the EVP session completely.
Yeah.
So with this space, we all tell the same damn story, and that's why I'm surprised. Like you guys don't know what the hell it is, especially
maybe
you,
if I hear it.
Yeah, you might. I'm still going to give you a little bit more detail because we're ghost hunting. We're not, on the cheesy campfire marshmallow kind of ghost tour. So here's how it goes. A doctor moves down to Charlestown from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. Remember I said the word prescription showed up as we walked in here. So that's where I'm like, okay, we're already getting stuff. Again, this guy's crazy. I actually need him to tone it down a little bit, just because he lingers. We talked about ghosts not being stuck.
Yeah.
He actually shows up at our last stop a lot.
Oh, wow.
And he's kind of pissing me off about it. I kind of told him on my way down to meet with you guys, like, lad, you need to stay in your lane. Just the app. So just kind of getting him over. But anyway. And by the way, if the song Brown Eyed Girl shows up while we're down here, and I know you're not listening right now, but it's still recording, it's not coincidence, it's part of his name. We get it all the time.
Okay.
So that's kind of how that works. Now, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a shit ton of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money, so he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. So he moves down here to Charlestown to prove that he's not. So on his way into town, his coachman sets him up to be robbed and killed.
Oh.
So it wasn't a very good start to his stay
Poor
here.
guy.
I know, right? It's like having a bad Uber driver. They drop you off and there's a gunman waiting for you
Yeah.
on the outside.
That's terrible.
I know. But somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen. That guy's name was Ralph Isaacs. I stop on Ralph and say his name slowly because he has the same initials as where the doctor came from.
Yeah.
Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs.
Wow.
Now, I was getting the letters R-I, just like how she spelled out S-I-O-M earlier, at this location, but I didn't know where it referred to, so I bought a new device. It acts just like a Ouija board using EMF readings, like Lizzie's device.
Yeah.
So anytime there's an EMF spike, it would give us a letter. So
That's cool.
I've had the letters R-I show up here about half a dozen times whenever I bring up Ralph's name in the past year. So again, I have it confirmed that it's definitely relevant to Ralph. That's kind of hard to say. I'll dare you guys to say that, by the way.
Relevant to Ralph?
Relevant.
Okay, jerk. But anyway, back to Ralph.
You made me think of Wreck-It Ralph, sorry.
Actually, that kind of works too. So Ralph tells the doctor, I know this guy, dude. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. We're going to go to my friends at 59 Church Street, and you can rent a room from them. You'll be safe. Doc took him up on the offer. The two gents became friends. Now, the longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he's not after Amanda's money. She gets wind of this, and she's moving down so they can be married. Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. Part of the reason why I don't like to come down here is because a whistling ghost is a very big cliche and trope. Every haunted city has one. Ours just happens to be a doctor. So, moving on. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. Now, on the way home one night of seeing Richard III, they're arguing over the new actress they just saw. The doctor thought she was great. Ralph didn't. The argument then turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda. Back home in Rhode Island, it got really ugly. They went their separate ways. But I told you Ralph has friends around town. He puts an ad in the newspaper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Dr. Ladd saw the ad, but rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. Somebody's going to die. I'm tired of this shit. So, they came down. They took their 10 paces away from each other. They turned. The doctor pointed his gun in the air and shot. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage to show up. And all that boom you keep hearing down there is them talking about what I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Again, they try to do the scare factor. But anyway, Ralph still has his one bullet. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. He didn't want to kill his friend either. He just wanted to prove his point. And he did. Ralph fell to the ground. His friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later on November 2nd of 1786. I'm going to point out two things. It's 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then than they are now. Secondly, he's a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself. But he failed, obviously. Now, every tour, just like that one, is telling their guests to listen for the whistles. Two things on that one. We have a video camera running, plus my voice recorder. If we're going to capture a whistle, it's going to be on one of those two devices, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. Secondly, it's not that we haven't caught whistling parts of songs on a spirit box like what Don's using, plus the word doctor coming out of a commercial immediately after. Doctor, we get it all the time, dozens and dozens of times. Part of the reason why I can't get away from this location because it keeps giving me more shit.
Yeah.
So all of those clues will show up. There's a lot of clues within the story that I just told you. 59, Amanda, money, doctor. Ralph was a lawyer. There's other things I'm not telling you about the doctor because when they show up, I can then tell you why it's relevant. His birthday shows up all the time. There's another hobby that he had that will show up all the time. You're getting the point. If you're going to try this on your own and listen for the whistles as you walk all the way through this alley, I can't take you all the way through because I've been kicked out of here. We're going to talk about that in a minute because that's the fun part of the story. So at any rate, if you're going to try it and use the voice recorders from your phone, just remember every local, well, aside from you two apparently, know the damn story. So anybody that walks up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down the alley. So my garage used to be above the Scotchman, that little tiny convenience store that's no longer there, and my office is that way. So at like 3 in the morning, I was always passing by the alley, which means I always threw a whistle back. So it's just something that I just did. It was just habit at that point. However, let's talk about how I got kicked out of here, and then we will, beat feet and move on to our next space. The alley, the way we came in, didn't always have the wide opening the way it was now. There was a wall up there, about halfway between us and Cumberland Street. The reason why is because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. So it was called Cow Alley back then. That was before Dueler's Alley. It's called Philadelphia Alley now, if I didn't bring that up.
Yeah.
But anyway, that means that down on the other end are bricks that are older than the ones you're standing on. Those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there, and I used to take my groups down there for a history lesson because there's nothing paranormal about it. Again, I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. That's not the place where you're going to find that child.
Yeah.
So, November 26th of 2020, my entire group of 10, because I was sold out that night, decided to huddle around that brick, waiting for something to happen. I'm trying to shoot him along because I know nothing's going to happen, and I'm also trying to be respectful to the neighbor because we're standing right outside his dining room window.
Yeah.
He came out screaming. Again, I didn't realize that I was out of bounds for tolls at that time of night. So I was still new at this, and that's kind of how that went. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I was in upper management for the biggest retailer in the world, and you guys like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving, and you've scarred me for life. I don't work on Thanksgiving ever again. So yes, that was Walmart, in case you guys didn't pick up. So, and I was the guy that had to design how everything was laid out and then go break up the fights among the women of the towers. I was that guy.
Nobody needs towels that bad.
I'm not a big man, everybody. Like, me breaking up a whole team full of women is not a good thing.
They will take you out.
They have. I've had a few elbows. But at any rate, so the next day was the 28th. How's it going, man? How are you? Good. Good. Seen that bright light coming.
Oh yeah, this one really.
There were 4 of us. Yeah, there were 4 of us. Yeah.
We're allowed to go to 20.
Okay, well,
I only go to 10.
it was cold.
Yeah. I think I just take Wednesday off because it was booked because it was too damn cold. But anyway, so where was I? November 28th. So I called my partner that I had at the time. He's the one who actually recruited me into tourism away from that 6-figure salary at Wally World. And I told him what happened, and he laughed at me, just like my daughter did. Oh, by the way, my daughter thought it was hysterical that the neighbor was yelling at me because her dad was getting yelled at, and she was about 13, 14 years old at the time. So she thought it was great. But anyway, he laughed at me just like she did. And, he said, dude, you're only allowed to go down halfway. You got to rewatch your group tonight. So I said, okay. I don't know enough about the next space, but let me see what I can do. I told my group I don't believe in the next story because I've never had anything happen over at the Powder Magazine with any of my equipment, and I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. Like, obviously, we're discussing pirates next, in case you haven't caught on to that. Before we left, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box. I didn't tell them which pirate we're looking into, the female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I was like, oh shit, maybe we're going to get something. We go up and around the corner. I told them a little bit I did know about piracy, which wasn't much because, again, only a few hours to research. And somebody else heard the number 300 on a spirit box. I don't know what that means. I wrote it down, research it. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720. The exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. That's normally the reaction that I get out of that piece of history. I was actually pissed off. Let me explain. I have a master's degree in creative writing and a bachelor's in journalism and a bachelor's in English. I am a writer. I need facts and data in order to be able to write. When I'm ghost hunting, I need facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore that was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy. That's a problem. That means more books to be able to verify information. I've read more books on pirates than I've ever wanted to in my entire life since then. I've watched more documentaries, played more video games. Anything that dealt with freaking pirates, I've done it. So again, do I consider myself an expert? I probably could be, but the Anne Bonny tale is where I really obviously excel. what we're about to discuss came from a minimum of 2 resources from every line that will come out of my mouth. It is a roll of the dice if she'll even be there. So hopefully we get bleed over from Dr. Ladd as well from your communication devices. We will be able to spread out like what we did at the Pinckney Mansion.
Did I go more than halfway down?
Not right now. Not with my gear. So, and I get asked
I
that
never
all the
said I
time.
wasn't a smart.
That guy last night, I had to dish it right back.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, and he actually fist bumped me every time I gave him one back.
Good.
Yeah, like
That's how
it was
should
respect.
be. Yeah, that's how it should be.
So it was just that kind of relationship with them all night long, and I had a blast with them. I really did. But again, when you have
I wanted to be there so bad for that.
honestly,
I was like,
we're
damn
getting
it.
more activity tonight
Oh, really?
than what they had last night.
Oh, cool.
And I'm always honest with you. And I
Yeah.
even told them at the end of their night, I told them at the end of the night, this was really light. So here's where I think you're going to fall on the spectrum of my scoring system. And they were like, wow, okay. Like, huge review, big thank yous and text messages all this morning, like the whole 9 yards. So I converted Joe. I'm going to just put it out there. Like
Yeah, because he said from the very beginning,
Yep.
the only reason he was there was for her.
Right. It was her idea.
And he walked up, yeah.
I haven't heard a voice come out of there yet. Have you had anything above an 8?
No.
Okay. Name shame. Yeah. Nothing besides the word prescription for me. Did you see anything crazy on the camera? Were you even
Not
watching
yet.
it?
Well, what I was watching, I didn't see anything,
Okay.
but
We're going to go up and around the corner, like I said. We're going to stay out of the other tour's way because, again, we're the weirdos. What's funny is ever since I was in the Post and Courier last year, I've been noticing maybe other tours like, hey, if you wanted to use equipment, that's your guy, as me and my team are walking by them. Normally, it was kind of like who's this guy with all the blinky lights? I don't have any friends in this industry, just pointing that out. There's one guy that I talked to. So like some of these other tours that walk by, they're starting to recognize me. I was actually, you guys may have seen it if you read the newspaper or you get news on your TikTok and Facebook shit. On Halloween, I was the cover story. So yeah, I had a
nice.
whole news team. I gave them free tickets to come see what this is all about, and I had a whole news crew follow me around with the cameras, the lights.
Oh,
and
that's
all.
awesome.
Yeah, it was actually really cool.
Yeah, I believe that.
That's really great advertising just there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was too little, too late because it was on Halloween. I needed it to, be before. October.
before.
But at the same time, like I have as featured on, because I'm on a lot of podcasts. I actually just wrote a few articles for some ghost hunting magazines and one for the magazine for the Society of Psychical Research. So like I'm getting asked to do all of these things. So like they're reaching out to me. Like, hey, we've seen your scoring system. We see these workbooks you're putting out. Like, what's going on? So
That's awesome.
but yeah, next month is when I start like guest hosting other podcasts or where I am the guest. I have like
Nice.
I think 5 or 6 lined up from March and April so far, and they're just rolling in at this point. It's awesome. But anyway, let's go learn about some Rated R Pirates. Listen in.
Sounds like I heard a hey.
Okay. We need more than that, Doc. You gotta give us more. We're gonna go across the street, dude. And you're gonna meet us over there, and you're gonna stay in this area. Oh, I get to fuck you right now. All right. Well, we'll see you on the other side, buddy.
Stop recording.
You can keep it.
Okay.
Going up around the corner.
Okay.
We'll see how good your balancing skills are.
Hopefully not too bad.
My uncle used to live here.
She's focused.
Oh.
And this was like 3-4 years ago, and he used to take us closer towards like the water, like where the cannons are and stuff.
Yeah.
And my family.
Come across, and I didn't like that.
Well, that's Doc. What's going on with the water?
Oh, but my family they always used to trip over the like I guess the sidewalk and stuff, and my uncle used to call it the Charleston Shuffle every time.
So what part of Myrtle Beach are you from?
Conway specifically. But I also have like my nana and my mom. They live in Garden City area. But I lived in Conway.
Obviously, the old Walmart, the older one, not the one down by the university.
Yep.
That's the one that I was working working at when I moved to South Carolina. Like Walmart moved me and my family to Turtle Beach. So with a promotion to go to that Walmart. So that's how I got that. Okay.
I have a picture at the church right here.
Yeah.
My aunt was here visiting from Guatemala, and she wanted to take a picture in front of it. And there was a car in the background, and there's 2 ghost faces in it.
See? I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I'll
Sue,
show you.
I'd definitely like to see it.
I don't know. It looks like a guy in like the driver's seat, and then a girl. I think. I don't know. That could be a
Show them. So is the jail really haunted?
Yeah, that's a place I don't take strangers.
Really?
Yeah, I get asked about it all the time.
Can I go?
I'm not taking it. It's a liability on the company.
Anything's gonna happen. Something's gonna pick me up and carry me off. You would not be that lucky.
Every time I've been there,
Yeah.
and I've never set foot inside the building.
Yeah.
I've only been on the grounds in the middle of the daytime. Somebody whoever I brought with me, whether it be my wife, my daughters, friends, whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody's always passed out roughly on the same exact day.
Oh my gosh.
See why I don't
Wow.
take strangers there?
Yeah. We'd have a hard time getting me back up.
I got way cooler stories than people are just passing out.
Really?
As long as I don't pee myself when I pass out, we're good.
I found the picture.
Yeah, exactly.
I found the
But I mean,
picture.
there's too much evidence out there for me not to believe it. That's how I see
My
it.
website is going to keep your boyfriend busy for weeks, just so you know. All right, you guys can have a seat. Just chill out.
You can see there. You see that?
This right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd like to analyze that. Is this trying to send that to me?
Yeah. I
It
can
just
send
said
it
Nick's
to you.
phone.
Oh, it was probably like my recent text.
Oh. But yeah, if you want to send it to me, I'll analyze
Okay.
it.
And then do you see that going in front of it too?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I guess it wasn't the church in the background. It was close to it though.
That's actually the circular church,
Oh,
if I'm
okay.
not mistaken. I could
It
be
was
wrong.
some church. I don't know. Near some church.
Well, there's an apparition that is said from a St. Philip's church. That's the reason why I asked if you had
That's the
soup.
church that we had the funeral at. Sorry.
Oh.
It's okay. Don't. I'm good.
I've been trying to figure out all night which church it was.
St. Philip's?
Yep, but that was the church.
Yeah, send that to me. I'll run
It
through
was
some of my filters and see what I
Okay.
can come up with. Take it from there. Don, did you hear anything besides the evil laughed?
Yeah, but a couple things I can't remember right now.
Okay. All right, let's get you on mute.
Unmute.
Yep. Let's go through the history of this location. So, Gabby, if you want to have a seat and point your camera
Why did you try
just
to
outwards this way.
4.3?
Okay.
I expect a 3 to a 5 in this corner.
Something
So,
just said, God damn.
so once we get up and we start moving around,
Okay.
with your EMF, I get more excited about a 2.5 in the back than a 5 up here because
Okay.
of that pole.
Okay.
We're really close to it. All right, so, and you can even almost like just set it on the brick and put your hand on top if that's more comfortable, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that's fine.
Did you guys notice the big giant crosses on this building? Those are not crosses. Those are earthquake bolts. So if you don't know what an earthquake bolt is, it's basically a turnbuckle. So it goes all the way through the building, through the roof, and looks just like that on the other side. If we have another earthquake, like what we did in 1886, you can turn the turnbuckles and it tightens the building up so it doesn't incur any further damage.
Oh.
It's a great idea, it just doesn't work.
Didn't some people just tighten it too much?
It's really pointless to just tighten it in the top of it.
Yeah.
So even when it's just gonna like, think of it as a balloon. So you put 2 pins in before it explodes the balloon.
Yeah.
Even if you have them on every floor, like the apartment building behind it, which does have them on every floor, if you do that on multiple points on a balloon, it's just gonna go in a little bit where the points are going in. So yeah, it's a concept that just doesn't work. Californians actually laugh their asses off at me whenever I tell them what those are. They know it doesn't work.
It was something that somebody probably sold and made a lot of money off of.
Well, we actually got the idea from California because that's what they were using at the time.
Oh, okay.
But that's part of the reason why we're here, by the way. It's the reason why I bring them up. You guys have seen those earthquake bolts all over town in the form of pineapples and lion heads and all kinds of Charleston charm bullshit, because that's what we do. And I believe there's certain newer buildings within the past 20 or 30 years that they put them in there as well. Yes.
Why is the pineapple so important?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Because, where I'm from, pineapple I think means something else nowadays.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but I just...
It's a sign for swingers.
Oh, okay. Well, we know what you guys do here now.
Yeah. Not me, but
Well,
yeah.
we have like
sorry.
Pineapple Park, we have the Pineapple fountain.
Damn.
Everything's pineapple.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm not going there at night.
I don't. It's like a nudist colony. It's not a big deal. But anyway, I got jokes too, because I could fish them right back. I honestly had no idea. I've never really dove into that, so I had no idea. And I know why the lion heads are in certain places because of King Street. King
Oh,
Street,
okay, yeah.
That
Yeah.
was one of our major avenues when the city was getting started. But these earthquake bolts are the first set that Charleston ever put in.
Oh, wow.
They're
Okay.
the oldest in the city. And the reason why is because this is the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. So I bring that up because this building was being constructed at the same time Anne Bonny was coming here to start a new life. This is what I call a familiar. We don't have many buildings this old. We do have a handful, but not a shit ton. It's not like a whole block of them. So the hope here is that she's going to be here at the same time we are. It's like a roll of the dice. You guys watch the paranormal TV shows and some of the YouTubers. You've seen the Boo Buddy, right? That's the teddy bear with the little blinky light K2 meter in it. They use that to try to attract a child ghost because the child would recognize it as a toy. Same concept, but with a building. Getting my point?
Yeah.
So, let's get into it. The building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building? 10 years? The history begins right in the middle of the building's construction. Try to follow me on this one. There's a couple of twists because it is a kick-ass weird female pirate, and I will slow down on those twists, but kind of speed along through everything else so we can get to work. I know I've been talking, through 2 different locations. 1708, a young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormac. She comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. You with me so far? Okay. The 3 of them are running away from her father's angry wife.
Yeah.
How mad was the wife that she kicked them out of the damn country? It's 1708, guys. There's no planes. It's by boat. They landed in Georgetown. Do you know where Georgetown is? Okay. So Dad bought a plantation up there, and Mom died pretty quickly. So that means Dad is now sending young Anne from Georgetown down here to Charlestown to sell things from the plantation to keep things afloat. So during that time in Georgetown, there's not a whole lot going on besides plantations. You can't sell to another plantation. So hence the familiar building. Now, back home in Ireland, Anne was said to be a badass even when she was a little girl. They say when Anne was only 7, 8, 9 years old, remember it's pirate lore, nothing is exact, they say she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. Imagine a little girl killing somebody with a knife. Yeah, that's this young lady's mentality. And I like to give that to you because that's what you're going to keep in the back of your mind through the whole story. Fast forward, the building's done in 13. By 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne is stoked. Why? She's going to fall in love with one of these guys so she can earn her freedom. So just like a man, it's a man's world. The first guy she falls in love with. And I say that slowly because there's a handful. We're going to go through them all. That's what makes the damn story so good. So the first guy is James Bonny. You already see where this one's going because I've told you her pirate name already. Dad didn't approve. He's a pirate. They ran away to Jamaica. They got married. And Cormac is now Anne Bonny. That's where the name comes from. So when they get down there, she realizes her new husband is not Captain Jack Sparrow like what she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer, which means he's a spy for the British. He's a coward. This isn't who she wants. She's going to fall in love again later on. Guy number 2, a few years go by, she runs into John Rackham. Everybody calls him Calico Jack. This is the guy they based your Johnny Depp character off of, in case you were wondering who this guy actually is. Calico Jack has his own ship, he has his own crew. Anne wants to be part of the crew, but you can't put a female on a pirate ship because it's bad luck. So he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and look like the crew, you can be part of the crew. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. She gets it. It's a man's world. So let's put 2 and 2 together. She's a female in Jack's quarters. There's no way he's letting her dress like a guy in his quarters, right? Especially during intimate things. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You cannot have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew.
Nowadays you could.
You could.
Sorry.
We're getting to that. So, anyway, she does get pregnant, and obviously he's got to ship her off somewhere. So he sends her to Cuba before she starts the show. They'll vote him off the ship if they find out he let a girl on the ship. He says, these are friends of mine. Have the baby here and come back later. We'll figure it out. She goes and has the baby, but returns without a child. We have no idea what happened to the baby, by the way. None of my research has ever discovered it. So, she also comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack pretty pissed off. Now everybody's going to know he let a girl on the ship. To make him even more mad, because you already know her mentality, she's going to go flirting with the pirate crew he just captured down below deck. Guy number 3. In case you watched track, by the way. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female. Dressed like a guy, to be part of the crew the Calico Jack just captured. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Anne and Mary became friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really know for sure because of the time period. But the British find out where they are. They send a whole fleet of ships to come take down the one measly little pirate ship. The rumor is that Ann and Mary were the only two pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with one-bullet flintlocks. They don't know how to use cannons yet. They haven't been pirates for very long. Obviously, two ladies with one-bullet guns cannot take on a whole fleet of ships. They get arrested. As they're being arrested, Ann looks at her captain, Jack, and says, "I'm sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up on your communication devices a lot here, by the way. The judge wants to see the two quote-unquote men that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone. The two ladies reveal their gender in front of this judge, hoping to save themselves, and he could give a shit that they're female. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them. They scream out, "We plead our bellies," meaning they're claiming to be pregnant, because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. So he sends them both back to jail, delays the hanging. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Ann and brings her home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary. We don't really know. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84.
Wow.
Very abrupt ending, because we don't know jack shit about her after her pirate career. It's all up for speculation, and I don't like to spread rumors. So, Mary Read died 5 months later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates died from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most books will tell you it was fever. I say make it romantic, call it scurvy. Why the hell not? So, here's a couple of things that I left out. I'm not going to control this environment like what I did at the Pinckney Mansion site and gave you like very focused questions. I just left out a few details so you guys at least had something to get started with. I didn't tell you the name of Anne Bonny's parents. So that's the father and the mistress. I did not tell you the name of the city where Anne grew up in Ireland, the name of Calico Jack's ship, and the color of Anne Bonny's hair. Anything else you want to ask her, by all means do it. This is not a tiptoe around and show the respect. She's a kick-ass female pirate. Kick her in the shins to get her to talk to you. It's kind of how this one works. Either I'm pretty quick with this one because she's either going to be here or she's not. Depending on what you guys are hearing out of your spirit boxes, we might have Dr. Ladd here as well. We're going to stay away from the one little white truck that's here. And that ivy wall over there is not your friend, Gabby. All leaves are in front of another leaf, so it's going to look like a whole wall of army men over there.
Oh, okay.
It's going to always try to make it look like a stick man.
Yeah.
So let's get your spirit box cranked. As far as yours, Lizzie, go ahead and start listening in. You guys know the drill. And let's get to work. Let's see what we can find at this location.
Perfect.
I know, lots of talking. No, who the hell's not?
Yes.
I would actually promote that you vape heavily here.
I vape
Yes, she is a female pirate. Not like the English prominent woman that we were talking to over there. Show her you're cool, kind of thing. Getting my point?
Yeah, gotcha.
And by the way, if you do need another restroom, we're going to be passing my office on our way to the last stop. If you use it.
Yeah.
So it's up for grabs. Just
Thank
let me
you.
know.
Hey, Annie.
I don't see anything on
So
the
you're a
leaves.
pirate, huh? I always feel so awkward when we're supposed to talk to them.
I know. I don't know what to say. She was getting down and dirty.
Yeah, she was. But if I came across Captain Jack Sparrow, I would too, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. We don't blame you, girl. Oh, that's our shadows. I was like, oh my gosh, there's some on the floor.
So, what color is your hair? How old were you when you had the baby?
What is your dad's name? I can't tell. Is that something or is it a light pole?
I think that's towards the... I think that's towards the bushes right there. I
Oh
can't
yeah,
tell.
you're right. Yeah, that's probably what it is.
I'm not picking up any EMF readings though.
Yeah. It's staying at 0.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I heard, hey. I heard. We both heard it, not just me. But it was a deep man's voice saying, hey. Just like that. That was a little weird.
And she heard that weird laughter. I'm wondering if it was the same voice.
Maybe.
So,
Playing tricks on us or something.
could
Is
be.
it the doctor?
It might be. Again, we'll get things relevant to Dr. Ladd over here. And, you know, normally I don't get things that are directly like Calico Jack or Blackbeard or anything like that. I mean, we'll get like subtle hints, but it could be Anne just telling us about those people.
Yeah.
So, and with the spirit boxes, yours is the only one I pay attention to the gender of the voice, because with hers, it's radio chatter.
Yeah.
Anne could be using a man's voice to tell us the name of Jack's ship.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like Bumblebee from Transformers.
Yeah.
But with yours, it will pick up disembodied voices, and it is hard to distinguish it because it doesn't record. So
Yeah.
that's why I kind of rely on this combination to be able to determine if you guys capture something, like, and it was your like dead focus, it was a male voice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably go back and check it out to see.
Yeah, that one was weird. I stopped. I was like,
Yeah.
did you hear that?
10 pound,
10 pound.
and then this.
Okay.
So, I'm trying to remember the words. There's so many coming out. I'm just trying to remember the ones that sound like they're important. So I was like, how much does a cannonball weigh?
Did you ask that?
No.
Oh.
It's like, that's
So
one
what's
thing
funny is
thought.
I did get the word regime and then fear them, like
Really?
showing up on my word list. I was coming over to tell you, like after I told you to smoke heavily, she heard you can do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
10 pound. You also have to remember who we're talking about too. So 10 pounds might be money.
Okay.
So know your ghost.
Doubloons.
Doubloons.
Isn't that what they used to call money
992.
back in
Maybe.
the pirate days?
I don't know what a bloom is. Unless you're talking about
I've
bloom
heard
earth.
that, but I don't remember what it is.
992. Come on, Ann. You know, we don't stay here long. You got to prove something to us for us to chill out with you. You know what questions we ask all the time.
Yeah, and I'm not getting any readings on this.
Yeah, and that's not surprising. I want to say one day last week, we actually had like 5 readings come out, and they were all like between like, we'll just say 4 to 10, which
Yeah.
is like huge.
Favorite, winter, apologize. Whatever it takes.
I'm trying to piece together a story of part of any of those people, and I really don't have anything. Got the word intense.
Did her dad ever want to apologize to his wife or something?
He forced her?
Is that what he said?
That's what I heard. He forced her.
That's what it sounded like.
Well, that was
Forced
probably a lot of what we dealt with James, the first husband.
Yeah.
He was pretty forceful with her.
Mine just said do not answer. Dread.
You see how there's no such thing as coincidence at this point, I hope? Because you guys are getting a lot of good, subtle clues here and there.
Yeah.
This time.
And is it time for us to go?
Says you're out of line.
I'm not out of line, Ann. You know I'm here every damn night.
Reality and physical.
Nothing, anything. exciting when a voice comes through, though, isn't it?
I know.
Now
Yeah.
just said go hit and ghost.
Go what?
It said go, and then hit, and then ghost. It's
And
right. It said it's right a couple of times. Local, state, cheaper.
I'm trying to get you some more reception.
Help me.
I heard that.
Oh my God.
Oh!
Like that was.
That
like
was really
Yeah.
clear.
two different.
Help me.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good one. And I don't normally write that shit down.
Yeah.
No,
You
yeah.
know, like the very cliche stuff. But that was,
That was
like.
clear.
Yeah.
And two tones, like you said.
Well, it was like
Yeah.
two different stations. Like
Yeah.
one was FM, one was AM.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that was awesome.
Did it say go away?
People, go away.
Yep, that's our cue. All right.
Well,
back to
thank
the wall.
you.
Let's go back to the wall. Give us the answers.
Help me.
From two different stations.
Yes.
Like, help me.
Yeah.
Two different. Weird. Very weird.
And then go away.
Thought I had something else.
Wow.
So if it sounds like a commercial with words put together, then I just have to do that.
You can actually give your hands a break on that one, I think.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You wouldn't even have started. See what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying now. This is interesting.
This is beautifully creepy.
Yeah, when I went on this other ghost tour, they were telling us to walk around it 3 times or something.
There was a woman's voice, but I couldn't hear what she said.
I'm not going to say that they don't.
Uh-huh.
But most time when you think of what's like that from a tour,
Yeah.
like that, it's usually.
Yeah.
All right. So, hand me your spirit box and the EMF meter. So I'm going to set it down. Gabby, have a seat, but hand your camera over.
Yeah, mine's gonna
And you're also going to have a seat in the spot. So you guys just sit down next to each other. Show you how this is actually going to work. This is going to need Gabby. Alright, so normally how this would work, just so you know, and Lizzie, just so you know, we're going to stay pretty nice and tight.
Oh.
Again, when other tours come through here and they see them like blindfolding women on a park bench, like,
Yeah. No, that might, yeah.
never listen. So normally, if I have like 4 or more people, I would split the group in half. The 2 people I chose, one from each party, are going to sit here, and then I take whoever's left over to that monument, and I kind of give them a history of what to expect. So Gabby, hang on to that for me for just a minute. And then we come back and watch it unfold. When I have like a group like this, obviously you're still not going to know the history. You're going to be able to hear me. So kind of keep that in mind. You're just not going to know why that I'm asking the questions that I'm asking to the ghost, because you don't know who the ghost is yet. We're going to go through this for 10 minutes. Here's what to expect. You're literally going to be telling me everything that you hear. And if you're talking too loud, I'm going to tap you on the shoulder. Okay. So it's going to be me tapping you. Okay. Don't touch my desk, but with a group this small, I think you guys are good. Blindfolds are disposable. I don't want these back.
Okay.
Keep your own eye boogers.
Thanks.
And yes, you can buy blindfolds in bulk on Amazon.
Oh, hello. I did not know that.
I
don't know if I needed to know that.
I buy them 200 at a time. Like, it's a large box.
Oh, wow.
I used to use earbuds instead of the headphones too, by the way, but they were poor quality, so you guys weren't hearing as much. So I would buy those by the 1,000 because I was going through 2 to 3 pair of those every night.
Yeah.
So instead, I decided to go to the headphones and just clean them every day. I just sanitize everything. But anyway, back to the blindfold. So the whole point of this is so that way you're not able to read my lips and you have a little bit of sensory deprivation.
Okay.
It works like a Batman mask. So your ears are going to go where my fingers are.
Okay.
Don't do anything just yet. So literally repeat everything that you hear. Again,
Okay.
we have neighbors, so if you're too loud, I'll tap you on the shoulder. When we're done, I'm going to have Lizzie with you.
Okay.
For your shoulder safe. So as they will tap you on the leg, we're done. You take off your own gear.
Okay.
In the event anything goes awry where you start breathing heavily out of the norm, I'll have her tap you out. So just be
Okay.
prepared for that. As far as your end of things go, my phone's going to be in there. So first off, if my wife is sending you dirty messages, just let me know what they look like so I know what I'm going home to at 3 in the morning. Secondly, you're going to see a bunch of images just kind of floating. It's not going to be a 3D in-your-face type of virtual reality. Have you ever used virtual reality before? Okay. So it's not going to be like you're immersive in a world.
Yeah.
You're just going to see like smoke off in the distance, and then a picture will appear in front of it, like a photograph. It could be artwork, it could be a photo, it could just be whatever. You're just going to simply describe what it is, because she's going to tell me a lot. So you're going to be talking over each other, so be brief with it. In the event she's not giving me a lot, then I'll ask you probing questions, and I'll say your name first so you know it's directed at you. So hopefully it's going to be fruitful on both ends.
Yeah.
So we're going to see how this is actually going to go tonight. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and start this for you, and then I'll slide it in there, and then I'll start the timer. So for you, it's blindfold, then the first, and then the minute you start talking is when I'll start the timer.
Okay.
And then, of course, make sure your circle is red. Is it recording?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
With the little white.
Yep.
Yep.
Should be making a circle around it. So she's already under. It's 11:07.
Ghost. This guy.
Yeah, Henry, it's me again. Getting everything set up. I'm gonna slide my phone in there.
Oh.
So all you gotta do is look straight ahead, and you have a focus on here in case things are blurry. So the focus is a dial right here. So just slide that over your head. It's already working. And it'll line up. So Henry, you're here. You can tell us something about your occupation. You did that for us last night.
When the sun.
Henry, I know it's probably been a very noisy Saturday night for you. I know you don't really care for those things, but I would appreciate any communication you have.
Take them away.
No, we're not moving. I haven't brought the large groups with me tonight. Dr. Vlad, I'm asking if you are here to tell me what the code word is at any point in time that we're doing this. We've got about 9 minutes left. Call the code word for you.
Alone. Night.
Oh, I saw a face.
Crime.
Okay. In the smoke or in your picture?
It was like in it, but
Shot.
behind it, kind of. I see another face. They're like going for the face.
It's not going to be like in the smoke. It's going to look like a whole different thing. The smoke
Same.
is just there.
Well, it like a black spot clears, and then I see the face. Like the smoke clears.
Pulled around.
You'll notice that the whole picture. It'll be in color. The whole night.
Oh, it's cold.
Oh yeah, it's not going to. This is not smoking part. I'm sorry.
Coming first.
Henry, let's get back to your occupation. Can you give us something about your occupation so I can verify that you're here? I got all kinds of boxes out here tonight. You are blindfolded.
Can't break.
Can't break what? Can't break through? Is somebody blocking you? If they're blocking you, just push them out of the way, man.
Time.
Henry, make it simple, sir. Just tell us something about your
On again. Never change.
Yep, it's the same questions every night. For verification that you're here, but you don't always
Where are you at?
I'm right here. You don't always show up.
Dramatic.
Don't make it dramatic. You make it dramatic. We're kind of together. This is a friendly conversation, an opportunity to talk to people. I'm trying to learn about you and your work.
Answer me when I say your name.
Okay, say my name then. What is my name?
Let out. Hell. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I'm still not seeing anything.
And sometimes we don't get anything, so I can't control it. It's
Cold.
Rose. Mm-hmm.
Damn Doc. Doc, what's the code word?
Ocean.
Nope, that's not it. Try again. I showed it to you earlier. Back by the alley and back by the powder mill.
Painful.
What's the code word? Dr. Ladd. You're not proving to me that you're here. I'm going to go back to Henry.
Home.
I'm not going home. Henry. You want to talk about your son and your wife tonight? I'd like to talk about your work, to be quite honest.
Placed out.
You were. Okay. That's where we're going. What were you placed out of? I don't think I've ever heard that phrase.
Mm-mm.
Cry.
What were you placed out of, Henry? Be specific.
You shouldn't.
I shouldn't what, Henry?
I see like a screen with like blinding specks,
Okay.
like foliage, like trees.
Now you know where I talk about when there's an image to go show.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to see those images, by the way, when she's all done.
Yeah.
I'll be able to show them to
I
you.
think I see
Cold.
someone like walking, or I don't know.
Henry, who's in the picture? We don't understand this picture. Is a child in that picture?
She did say she saw someone
There.
walking.
Same.
Just wondering if it's a
Fancy.
child.
Oh.
Because they have the word kid in the show.
Oh.
Let me tell you something.
I'm trying to listen, Henry. You're not giving me much tonight. It's all pretty late. Yep, you said you were placed out. Building off of that.
Eiffel. Don't move. Love.
There might have been two people, one on one end and one on the other.
Okay. Oh, like an alley about it to be a duel?
Education.
Yes, actually. They were like doing
Credit.
things like that. Like they had a sword or something. Like they were cutting down a tree or something.
Just a duel.
Lost.
Not sword.
Stay.
But
They were whipping something out.
I'll be able to see it. It may look a little different when I
Yeah.
Henry back to you. You'll see a little light. How a leaf fall. Did you see anything fall?
Mm-mm.
Henry. We're running out of time.
Lost.
It's the second time she said lost.
Yeah.
Henry, we're using the
Try.
green
Different
box.
light.
This is Gabby. She can see whatever you want us to see.
Rustic. Against him.
See why I had her do the blindfold test? She's pretty good. This is quite a bit. Most of it's garbage, but
Yeah.
at least we have a grab bag to reach.
Time. Contact.
Dr. Ladd, if you're here, I'd like to really hear that code word.
I know you're here.
Oh.
You're here too. Dr. Ladd, what's the code word? I showed it to you earlier.
With those things. Guys. 1450.
1450.
Oh my.
What's the code word? Still waiting for that. As far as Henry
I
goes,
see a fairy?
what color is the fairy?
Lost me.
Pink hair. She's pale. She has like pink and red wings. She's kneeling down in a garden. It's very specific.
Yeah, it is. And some of the images that come out of
Lie.
that are
Guys.
astonishing.
Leave.
Really? Yeah, this is really
Like, astonishingly accurate to the space.
Stamp.
What's going on with the
Number
conversation.
two.
I gotcha.
T.
Yeah, there's a group that I watch on YouTube, Paranormal Paranormal Investigators, I believe. No, Paranormal Quest, that's who I watch. And
Yeah, they use the same technique, and I mean, some of the stuff that they've caught is insane.
Every dollar. Independence. Walk.
Gabby, what's your full name?
Valentine.
Like first and last?
Just
Gabriella.
$3,000.
No way. No way.
Stop it.
Oh my god, I just got goosebumps.
Yeah. Dead.
I have another image. It's like a house, like a log cabin type of house.
Okay.
There's trees.
Really?
Small cabin, large cabin?
Jay.
It looks like it's 2 stories.
South.
Looks kind of big.
Time frame? Yes.
Like how old?
Poor.
Oh, probably a while ago.
Rare. French.
I see a fireplace. Yeah, I see a fireplace.
2-3.
I can see inside. Like there's a window.
What did you
Maybe
say?
I am inside of it, I think.
French is good.
Everything I
Remember the
know.
word French.
French.